Hey everyone, we're pretty much into February now, so just kind of like a recap of January, of what's been happening with the weather and just all around. In early part of January, we had very dry weather, very dry, very windy. This most of January almost felt like it was fall weather. And I think most of you guys have heard about the tragic fires in Altadena and the Palisades. Thanks to all you guys that reach out to me. I am fine. I'm far from the fires, but pretty much everyone knows someone that has been affected by it. So that's pretty tragic. Followed by that really dry and windy weather. My area didn't get too windy. I think I might have hit like about 35-mile-per-hour winds, but I think about north of me, like they hit like 80, and also south of me, they hit about 80. So I was like kind of like somewhere in the mid. I was in between those areas that really didn't get much strong winds. It was like topping out at about like 32, 35 miles an hour. That was about it. It was nothing crazy. And then after that first week in January, it got really cold. Most of the nights got to the low 40s. But in terms of my yard, I do get like frost, low line frost. It's like a very low line. It doesn't kill any like tall tree, but if you had like some small plants or some sort of veggie or herb that's like about 6 inches or smaller, it would probably get burnt and die. So my hose actually froze up about 4 or 5 days. It was frozen each morning, the hose. And that kind of happens every year. I get that like once I get that once a year for like about a week. So I think at least that has passed now. I don't think I would get that again, because it usually happens once once a year for a week. And then after that, the weather's been like pretty chilly. Like there has been many days that has not cracked 60 degrees in daytime temps. We did finally get rain last weekend, which was like the most rain we had probably this season. We're expected, there's some forecasts that we might get rain in the next week too, but that was like the most rain we had all season. My soil kind of stayed moist for at least about three days or so from that rain. So here's an update of the trees. After the rains, I did spray everything with copper just once to be safe, make sure there's no fungal issues or anything spreading. Some stuff's kind of in full bloom, and some stuff it's still like pushing out just very slowly. So let's take a look at some of this. This is the variety Dolores. There's not much information on this. I don't think it's probably like an amazing fruit. Might just be okay. That's why there's not much information on it. It is a Zill variety. You can see the mixed bloom from here, and mixed bloom on it. This one has been very slow to push out. Behind it, we do have some sunrise. You can see the blooms coming out of this. Sunrise has been getting a little bit of attention for us in California as a possibly a vigorous grow. I haven't had much vigor from it, but it could just be my area. So it is a Zill variety, and it is a recent Zill introduction, but it has not been at all near one of the most vigorous grows in my yard. It's just okay. It's not the slowest, but it's not the most vigorous. But who knows what it does in other areas. But as long as for me, the sunrise variety has not shown that great of a vigor, and they haven't really set any kind of nubbins or anything either. So I don't really know how the fruit or taste looks like. So up next, this is Super Julie. This one has been also slow to push out, but the leaves, there's a bit of browning on the leaves, but it does look much better. I think if you guys seen my earlier videos, the leaves were just so pale yellow, and there's a bit more color coming back to it now. Okay, up next is the Sweet Tart. Sweet Tart has a lot of activity. Last time I showed you this, it looked like it was going to be a mix of flower and vegetation, and that's what it is. But it seems like the flower part has kind of has seemed to kind of taken most of the growth. There's still some vegetation, but earlier it looked like it's going to be like maybe the vegetation was going to be stronger. And any kind of mix bloom, like even after you get these vegetation, they don't really make good branches, like, and having to cut them off anyway. So at least if the flowers, there might be some chance of fruits. So this is sweet tart. It's looking pretty good, you know, looking pretty great. So up next, this is one of my larger trunks and rootstocks that I have here. This one has a lot of stuff going on, and so I'm going to just kind of show you guys what's blooming. Let's see. This is ice cream. It looks like it's about to send out a bloom right here. Ice cream is a pretty difficult one to grow. They just are slow growing. Let's see, there's some maha right here. Let's see the maha blooming right there. There's more blooms from the maha. And some of this is the maha grafts I talked about previously when I'm trying to collect some different strains of maha. So, got maha right here. You got raw honey, also known as Sharinta, also known as raw honey. That's looking like it's blooming. So far, I am finally getting some bud swell on the variety Sindri, and it is one variety that did not bloom for me last year at all. But look at it; it is a huge grafted branch, and it's grown really, really well. Okay, up next on top of that is called Safida Lucknow. So another one that did not bloom last year, but look at this huge branch. It's growing really quite well. And the buds, I don't think they're even swollen yet. So yeah, the buds has not even swelled up yet. So who knows? Who knows if it's going to bloom again? I have found it interesting that it has not wanted to bloom. Okay, here's an Alfonso. Swelling up. Here's a harvest moon that's pushing some kind of mixed vegetation. Let's see. Here's Brian's kind of really great tasting peach cobbler seedling. The wind kind of stripped most of the leaves, but it looks like it's pushing, but I think it's pushing blooms now. Okay, here's my house variety, California Remit, nice looking blooms. Here's a prom chimea right here. I keep on calling this Pimson wind, but this is actually prom chimea. Some of the wind broke off some of the blooms, but it's looking decent. See, this is Valkyrie right here, sending out blooms. Here's a Jin Huang, Golden Queen, Cat Saigon, sending out blooms. Blooms here on Ambrosia. It's growing out. Ambrosia. Let's see what else we got here. Here's a Juliet that's pushing. Here's a Diamond that is ahead of a lot of other stuff. Pushing. A lot of it got stripped off by the winds also. There's Pineapple Pleasure beginning to bloom again. Pineapple Pleasure. I got one fruit off of this last year. Let's see what happens this year. Okay. Here's the next tree. Another right here is another sweet tart right here. Kind of sending out blooms, mixed blooms. Let's see what else I have. Duncan back here. This is an Angie, and this blooms got stripped off. Here's a Ceci Love. Looks very ugly. Doubt any of this is gonna make it. And then when it comes to my Nam Dak Mai Mun, I got hit by powdery mildew. Also got stripped pretty much cleanly. All the large blooms are like done. The wind pretty much just stripped them all off. So still, we'll see what happens with Nam Dak Mai Mun. Had it for like 3 years already, but I have not had a fruit from it yet. Okay, here's another graft of Maha blooming. Here's a graft of guava Saint Alone that's blooming. Huh. The interesting thing is it's showing some issues with the leaves. Look at this. I don't know if that's anthracnose or what it is, but it's the only variety on here that is has some kind of leaf disease issue, or maybe possibly leaf damage from the wind or something, but it is only one that has it here. So that's guava Saint Alone. Okay, let's see what other varieties I have here. Okay, this one's Giselle right here. Very vigorous grow. This Giselle. Some blooms are coming out of it too. So you know, we're right now in the season where everything is going to be blooming. So up next, here's my sad looking tree, my saddest looking tree right here. I have like a little gem here, and EYs, and I think like a Super Julie, a palm pecan, a Thai variety, Carla right here. But you know, this tree is looking pretty bad. We'll see what happens with it. Okay, up next, this is this very nice looking area right here. This grafter right here. This is St. Maui. So still has not fully bloomed, but there is a branch here that the bloom is progressing much faster than the other areas, but most of it's just barely kind of like hit at this stage at the most. So St. Maui, see how it goes. Very amazingly delicious fruit. Here's another Sassy Love with the blooms. Okay. Some of my grafted stuff, they pushed out little stuff, but I don't think it's gonna make it. Look like this one's gonna die off. This one probably might die off. We'll see what happens. And this one's this one's a lemon zest. Might make it, but it's kind of weird, kind of mixed vegetation and blooms. Here's my seedling selection of lemon zest that I have. Really looking forward to see what this will do. Here's another California Rumit right here. Okay, up next. Okay, let's see what I got here. So, this kind of pinkish bloom right here, this is California Rumit. Right here's an M4 that's blooming. I just grafted that late in the year, and it's blooming instead of vegetation. It's one of those things where I kind of mentioned, like, when you're grafting late in the year, lots of times you might not get any kind of vegetation. You can just get blooms, you know. So that's what you have to be cautious about when you're grafting too late in the year. So I have lots of M4 scions I could graft later on. So if this even holds fruit, I'm gonna just let it hold fruit. If it does, I'll probably get a fruit, and then the scion dies off, but you know, you get to taste the fruit. This right here is lemon zest. Again, mostly just blooms. Another recent graft. And then what do we got here? Okay, here's some blooms on a Hindi Besanara. I think that's an Egyptian variety. It's a nice longer bloom right here. And here's Zebda, which is swelling for some blooms, but nothing pushed out yet. And another Cat Saigon Jin Huang graft right here that is blooming. Those long stalks you see right there. This is a Bombay right here that has, I don't think it has bloomed yet. Yeah, this Bombay is not blooming yet. It is swelling a bit, but hasn't bloomed. And then we got Dupree Saigon right here that's blooming. It's Dupree Saigon. Alright, on to the next one. So this right here is mostly cac. Right here, mostly cacs. Cac right here. Lots of cac. It's such a vigorous grower. I have to like prune it off all the time. And then on top right here is actually Super Julie. So Super Julie on top right here. Here's a cotton candy right here. Cotton candy. Okay, on to the next tree. Right here's a Florigon. There's a Florigon right here. Here's a gram. Like these vegetative leaves you're seeing, this is actually the rootstock. This is the Manila rootstock that kind of pushed off some vegetation, which is very it kind of shows how vigorous these Manilas are. They tend to like want to push vegetation even in winter sometimes. So that's the rootstock. Here's a few little gem. I'll probably be picking this either like today or tomorrow. This one, like the color looks amazing. I don't know why there's still so much wax on it, but this is little gem. It's kind of colored up on this side really nicely. Probably something I'll pick soon. Picking it in February. Okay, here's the Juliet. Let's see what else I got here. There's a lemon zest. This is lemon zest right here. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not lemon zest. This is actually peach cobbler right here. Peach cobbler. And some blooms from my California Romeit. So that's the update on these 2019 rootstocks for now. Just kind of show you guys what's blooming and how far some of them are in terms of bloom, bloom progress. But yeah, everything's looking, nothing's looking too unusual. This winter's been, I would say this winter's been colder than last winter, but I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. Our last winter was very mild, so we'll see what happens with this winter. But lots of stuff is blooming. I don't expect all the plants to stop blooming until probably May or so. We got a long time until our nighttime temps hit 60, so it's gonna be a while. Okay guys, thanks for checking out the videos.